On July 27th around 5:50 p.m., JayDaYoungan was ambushed while sitting on the front porch of his mother's home. 5 men armed with automatic weapons pulled into their driveway and opened fire, spraying bullets everywhere. With him was his dad, who attempted to shoot back, but he too was struck with 2 bullets to the arm. Before Jay could find safety, he was hit 8 times and collapsed to the ground. His 5 assassins sped off while he was left lying in the driveway in critical condition. Police began receiving calls about shots in the area and sent paramedics, but it was already too late. JayDaYoungan was pronounced dead 5 hours later at just 24 years old. The motive behind his killing is still in question, but here's what we do know.
Investigators have spent the past 24 hours trying to put all the pieces together in a double shooting there.
The family of the victim, Devoria Scott, known as JayDaYoungan, they say that together, but
sources are telling us the motive for that violence was retaliation. They're also saying
the stage name JayDaYoungan was just 24 years old. In his very short music career, he was really able to make a name for himself, not just in his hometown here in Bogalusa, but also the music industry.
23 mean everything to me, like, so the number mean everything to me, so it's like forever. It's like a lifestyle, so this shit like forever to me.
You see how JayDaYoungan be representing 23? Like, that's like how I be representing OTB. And OTB is only the blood. And only the blood is like, it's all of us, like, you know, all us humans, we related in some type of way. Like, we all family, like, we all OTB. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all part of that. Like, that only the blood shit, I created that because I wanted, to have some some family shit, you feel me? Some we can all benefit from. Like, you know, I want to make that a brand, make that like a movement, make it like a lifestyle. And I did it, and I'm still doing it.
JayDaYoungan came from the small city of Bogalusa, Louisiana, about an hour and a half from Baton Rouge and only an hour from New Orleans. Poverty and gang culture play a large part in the surrounding area, and it's on these same streets where he would get his start. Rapping was something Jay didn't do until his best friend, FG Famous, got him into it. They would write songs in class and even made their first music videos together. Throughout high school, they made a few songs and had a couple features from other Louisiana artists, which only helped bring more attention to his name. His first mixtape even had a song with NBA YoungBoy, an early sign of his success to come in the next few years. But his big break would come just 2 years later in
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know his early mixtape had NBA YoungBoy on it. I'm gonna go listen to it after I finish making this video.
Of his success to come in the next few years. But his big break would come just 2 years later in 2018 with the song Interstate. Interstate would gain over 4 million views its first month and caught the attention of media outlets like XXL. They were considering him as one of the artists to make the front cover for the 2018 year, but he was left out, something XXL would regret in a matter of months. After hearing the song Elimination off his next mixtape, Universal would end up signing him for an undisclosed amount. This was the song that introduced a lot of people to his music. Jay had gained tremendous success.
I love that song Elimination. I love a lot of JayDaYoungan's music. Like, I love JayDaYoungan as not only just as an artist, but as a father, as like a homie, as a human being. I got a lot of respect for him.
Very quickly, and he was climbing the ladder, but around this time he started to attract a lot of negative media too. Until this point, he had managed to stay out of trouble and even spoke in interviews about never getting arrested. But with a large target on his back now, he found himself in back-to-back arrests.
But I'm still involved in the streets right now too. You know where I live at right now, where I'm still living at? I'm in my city right now. I still ain't left my city. I'm still doing my shit.
That's how it be, you know what I'm saying? Depending on your situations, the fame, and your lifestyle can make it impossible for y'all to live in the hood that y'all either grew up in or anywhere in the world.
In 2019, he was scheduled to perform at Rolling Loud Miami, but the morning of, police arrested Jay and several others. Loaded guns, drug paraphernalia, and over $20,000 cash were found on him.
Yeah, money for sure. Money can definitely make people like treat you different. People can want to rob you. People can want to hurt you. People can want to steal from you. People can want to like extort you, finesse you. Shit. Like people can even want to take your life. People can want to kill you over this money. And not only just money, but possessions, things. You know, people can kill you for things.
Because of this, he missed his opportunity to perform in front of his biggest crowd yet. On top of it, allegations of domestic violence from his pregnant girlfriend were happening around the same time.
People can kill you just because you got what you got. And they want that. Or they think you got what you ain't got, or, you know?
And another woman said she had bruises and scars that he left from his attacks. However, during all of this, Jay still released his most successful project yet, Misunderstood, and the song 23 Island was so popular it pushed him to the brink of becoming a superstar and gave him his first platinum plaque. But his ties to the streets were without a doubt starting to hold him back. In September of 2021, with shock and without warning, the internet would learn that he was arrested and charged with accessory to second-degree murder, a very serious charge. This was discovered after paperwork for a $170,000 bond was leaked and people began to ask questions. Almost a year before his arrest, a shooting had occurred at a large birthday bash where a 21-year-old female unfortunately lost her life. A group of men armed with automatic weapons fired shots into the crowd of people and fled the scene. It would take almost a year for investigators to gather all 5 of the suspects, and among those named was a rapper named 700 Jeezy. He was from a different set than Jay, but they ultimately were on the same team and had the same enemies. During the investigation, police discovered that 700 Jeezy fled the state to Texas with the help of none other than JayDaYoungan. Although he bonded out for this, he still had to spend 8 months behind bars after police found a firearm on him in a traffic stop, compromising his freedom and putting his career on pause. On June 16, 2022, he was released from prison, and within a few days he was back to dropping music. While his freedom was celebrated, his enemies had also taken notice of his release and were already making plans. They scouted him out for a few weeks, and it was known that he spent a lot of time at his mom's house. That's where they decided to make their move if they could guarantee he was there. Luckily for them, he drove a baby blue Corvette, which made him an easy target to track, and that's exactly what they did. According to reports, his final moments went like this. Around 5:50 p.m., Jay, his father, and 3 other guests were sitting on the front porch of his mother's house. Shortly after, a black SUV with the lights off drove past and made a right turn toward an alley behind the home. 2 men hopped out, fully armed, and snuck around the side of the house on foot, while the SUV spun the block and came back around the front. 3 men then hopped out into the driveway, opening fire with automatic weapons. His dad fired shots back, but was hit in his arm twice and disarmed. Jay tried to make a run for the door to take cover, but was caught in the crossfire as the other 2 men came out of the alley shooting as well. After being struck at least 8 times, his body laid in the driveway while his 5 killers drove off. Initially, authorities didn't identify who the 2 victims were, but word on the street spread quick, and not long after, social media was flooded with the news. Blog pages were quick to pronounce his passing despite his sister saying he was in fact still alive, which at the time was true. But 5 hours later at 11 p.m., the Bogalusa PD posted this message to Facebook. We can now identify the victims as Javarius Scott, aka JayDaYoungan, and a close family member, Kenyatta Scott Sr. We can also confirm Javarius has died as a result of his injuries. JayDaYoungan was murdered in his own city, a place that's supposed to show him the most love. Within 50 minutes of his passing, retaliation from his friends already began. FG Famous released a tribute song to Jay before he too was arrested for going on a revenge shooting. There hasn't been a clear motive besides the obvious fact that Jay had beef with other gangs in Louisiana. He was rich, successful, and certain people wanted him gone. But there is one other theory going around that doesn't involve jealousy or hate. It's possible Jay didn't have people looking for him that day. In fact, he may not have been the intended target at all, but his dad instead. His dad spent a large part of his life in and out of jail for some serious crimes. He's been registered as a sex offender 3 different times and was listed on the local news in 2021 for something similar. If someone was looking to take revenge for something his dad did in the past, it's possible JayDaYoungan was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But only time will tell us what really happened. Long live 23.
That was fucked up. Rest in peace, JayDaYoungan. Thank you for everything. You helped me out a lot with your music, with your content, with just, like everything you're showing on Instagram, showing your lifestyle. That helped me out a lot. That helped me when I was growing up. So thank you for everything. I learned a lot from you. I learned to be myself at all times, no matter what, from you. So thank you. And thank y'all for watching. Gonna see y'all in the next video.